Hi there, I'm Temp Swear. Last video, last Doctor Who video, I did a comparison between my Doctor Who Season 23 Australian set with the UK Season 22 set, because I didn't have any other UK set to compare it with. But since then, since that last video, and this Season 23 UK set as well, so if you look at that, I've got UK and Australian sets that I can compare exactly with, and also Season 26. So yeah, let's do that. So let's get started with Season 23. I'll take this out of the slip case. This is what Australia has, while UK gives you a big old box. Yeah, the UK version is slightly bigger. Like slightly bigger. The same with like width way as well. It's like it is like slightly bigger, but they have the exact same number of discs. It's just I think the UK version it's a bit larger because of this TARDIS opening thing which holds the booklet. So that just gives the UK version a bit more width than the dumb Australian version. Now, very cool. You can open up the TARDIS here. Lovely. Yeah. So the Australian version, you miss out on the TARDIS artwork, the TARDIS exterior artwork, which sucks. Not the artwork, but the fact that we miss out on that really sucks. Compare that. There you go. Take out the booklet, which we can finally compare truly. So yeah, you've still got the TARDIS interior artwork. The Australian version gets cropped a little about here, and underneath all these discs, Colin Baker's face and Colin Baker's face. Is it any different? No? Yeah, so I actually got these. I got these second-hand from Cash Converters. They had them on the website. They didn't have any pictures on them, and they weren't available to ship to my area. So I sent them an email. And I was just like so quick that immediately as they put pictures up and made it available to post, I bought them while I was in a meeting, and they got here. So yeah. So the differences on the disc art, the UK version is a bit more saturated, better printing, better colours, and also has that UK classification rating, while Australia does not. So here we finally have two Season 23 booklets. Okay, yeah, this is the Australian version, this is the UK version, and immediately I can tell a difference. The Australian version is much thinner. Like, it feels thinner. And these have the exact same number of pages, exact same content, but the UK version is a little wider. And I don't know, I think the paper might be placebo, I don't know. Oh no, the paper is definitely like thicker. So UK version and the Australian version does away with these these gaps or these margins inside the UK versions. You know, there's some gaps between this area, just around the spine, while the Australian version is really it's just in there. The text goes right up against the page, the sides of the pages. Printing wise, it's like identical. I mean, yeah, there's no noticeable difference in like image quality or anything, or print quality. They're same colors, same everything, just different size. Yeah, but yeah, man, the UK version, the paper quality is better. Like, flipping through the Australian version, I feel like if I like flip too hard, turn the page too hard, I'm gonna like rip out the paper, you know. UK version, yeah, it feels like it feels more premium, yeah. Okay, so just comparing all the different booklets. The UK limited edition version, not only does it have the best paper quality and, you know, it's the largest, it also has a little booklet for the advertisements like other Doctor Who products. So, you know, I mean, take it or leave it, really. Like, you don't lose anything by getting it, but also, you don't really gain that much either. It's just advertising other stuff you can buy, you know, spend more money on it. Oh well, you know. Still, got the amazing booklet with all the essays and artwork and everything. And then we've got the Australian version, which has the same stuff as the UK version. No advertisement booklet, but this booklet is, again, inferior paper quality and slightly smaller than the UK booklet. But it's way better than the UK standard edition booklet, which only has information about the special features on each disc, really minimal artwork, and much smaller than the limited edition UK version and the Australian versions. And then we have the US for okay. So another thing is, on the Australian version, it has a little copyright notice, Doctor Who logo and insignia, copyright 2018. UK version does not have that at all. I am curious as to how this how this works. Does the same person, I don't know if it's like Lee Binding or whoever, like the same person who designs the UK booklet, do they also make the versions for Australia? Or is it like is someone given the artwork from the UK version and then they like have to change that for the Australian version? Don't know. Something I didn't mention in the other video is how annoying it is to like put away the booklet in the Australian versions. You have like difficulty trying to get it in the end without like bending or tearing your book. Like this happened the first time I like tried to put the booklet back in the thing. Yeah, I don't know. Like, what's happening here? Alright, let's take a look at the season 26 sets then. Once again, UK version is slightly larger. Take a quick look at the back. So yeah, same information. Interestingly, Australian versions, they have this little bar that says Blu-ray logo. Limited version and the UK standard edition don't have that. But then the UK standard version at the front, that's where you have this weird blue block thing. At the top, they both have Doctor Who: The Collection in season 26. I think it's like the exact same size as well. And then on the bottom, UK version. That's where they put the little barcode. Australia, Australia version, very clean. You don't have that at all. Very nice. Because we fit on the back. So here we have UK version and the Australian version. Now the UK version again has this piece of cardboard that covers the sides of the disc trays. The Australian version does not have that at all. So I find it's much easier to traverse through the trays in the Australian version because you don't have this bit of cardboard in the way. But it is nicer, I guess, you know, when you close it. This feels like a complete, you know, closed book, while this is just... I couldn't imagine throwing away the slipcase in the Australian version, because it's much easier to, like, you know, have stuff fall out like that, you know. Alright, here we go. Opening it up. And here, now we've got the TARDIS artwork, which again, Australian version, they cut it off. You get to see one side of the wall and the console. Or the UK version, you see a bit more of the sides. Here we go, yep. That's it, you see that? A little edge there. Australian version is thinner than the UK version. Oh, forgot to do this comparison. Okay. Yeah, so the UK version is a bit thicker than the Australian version. Or I should say, the Australian version is thinner than the UK version. So yeah, that tells me that the paper thickness on the Australian version is thinner, inferior to the UK version. And yeah, there you go. That's where the little thickness went. The Australian version does not have the gaps, or has a smaller gap between pages. Man, it's such a hassle putting the UK booklet away. Like, you gotta close all this art. Okay, you know what, that wasn't that bad. Like, it's like, sometimes. It's a very similar layout on the UK version and the Australian versions. But then, to take a look at the US version, or the Region A version, my friend Simon, good friend Simon, Tweetlord, #1 Sharda fan, he has sent me these pictures of his Season 26, which they've called the Sylvester McCoy Complete Season 3 set. Now that's stupid. I mean, that's stupid. Why would they do that? Yeah, Australia and the UK, they really match up there. They've put the Doctor artwork square at the top, whereas the US version, they've moved it into the middle, which, honestly, that looks kind of fine. That's nice, like, they all match up and you've got them in the center. That would be okay. No, you know what? That'd be fine if they didn't change what case they use. Because, like, depending on how many discs are in a season, they'll either use a fat pack or the regular 6 discs maximum case, which is like half the width. And I think that really messes up with the artwork, because you'll have Colin Baker here on Season 2 or Season 23, and he just looks cramped. He looks like he needs a bit of space there. And then same thing there. There you go. After 3 seasons, they stopped giving you a slipcase in the US versions, like what they did here. They just changed stuff, just slightly. It's like they're mostly the same, just like a little inconvenient, just like a little bit more, little inconsistent. Yeah, we'll notice that because of how freaking large our Australian classification thing is, they got to move the collection thing, like the collection text and season number, over to the side. It gets pushed over. Although something interesting is, on the Season 18 Australian version, they just removed the word "the" from the collection, so it's just Doc 2 Collection Season 18, and it's just this season. Every other season says the collection. Something that's kind of annoying is, depending on how many discs there are, so these have 8 discs. The square, like the Doctor artwork here, on the larger sets, they introduce some gaps or some margins, which is just, I feel like it's just more distracting. I feel like they could have made it larger, like made it, I don't know, a rectangle or something, just to go all the way to the sides. Yeah, so on my shelf, I display the sets going out this way, where you see this side. This is the side that comes out. I choose to show this side just because I think it looks cleaner, because it doesn't have the number of discs. But for whatever reason, on that side, they've put some gaps there. They've put margins on the sides, while on the slipcase, they don't do that. It goes all the way to the side. Why do that? Why you do that, man? Also, it's really bothersome for Australia. First, they changed the format. So instead of these, closed box sets, they gave us this much cheaper slipcase version. And for that, because these are 2 from the same distributor, these are both from Roadshow, they've kept the position of the season number, or season placement thing. And then when they moved over to Universal, they moved it down. Why'd you do that? Like, now there's not. Yeah, so what I've done when displaying my sets, I move them. I purposely make them out of line, unaligned. So you kind of just see the Doctor artwork instead. And it's nice. This one, even though I bought this second hand, right? And the booklet, this block of trays is glued properly. It's like it's not fallen off. But since I made that previous Doc 2 unboxing video with Season 22, hear that? It's come off now. It's directly off. It is gone. The glue's gone. Glue's gone, and you can see a bit of the paper it ripped off, taken with it. And but now you just see good old Colin Baker, one of the Bakers. Yeah. they must have gone cheaper with their glue there, or the production's gone worse. I mean, what can you do? I don't know. I don't know if this is an issue that's just like with the sets, or if it's cause, you know, it's shipped from the UK. Actually, no, it shouldn't be because it's from shipped, because this got here in this country the exact same way. Right? These are both from the UK sent to Australia. So something happened in between this time where they've cared less or spent less on the glue that's there to hold the block of trays. Absolute rubbish. I'm gonna do a little comparison between the Australia sets and the UK standard edition sets. There you go. Wow. Cool. I wonder if there's something else they could have done instead of this like one disc per page kind of thing. Honestly, it's like my least favorite part with these collection sets. It's like you lose so much space. I mean, look at this. You see the back of the previous disc. Couldn't they have done this? You know, you turn this disc, and then on the other side, there's another disc. Couldn't they have like done something with that? Like, I like how, you know, big, bulky they are. It feels real premium, but you can save more space. Come on, do something with that space. Don't just like look how freaking thick these plastics things are. Oh shit! Like, that's like, I don't know what, 4 millimeters dedicated to just one disc, whereas this is like, well, it's also about 3 millimeters, but I mean that's like two. Yeah, you got 2 discs per 3 millimeters here, whereas here is just 1 disc per. It's such a shame that Australia, we don't really get the consistency that the UK sets do. Like, all of the UK sets really match up. There's like no differences between, you know, layout. I mean, they don't change, you know, between sets. There's no like, it's like big major structural change. Whereas, like, what happened here? They've got 2 sets that, you know, match the UK version, where we've got a J card and a nice box that closes up, and then they change it. They give us this, a completely different format, a slipcase, where on the inside they can't decide whether they want to use the exterior image, you know, just at the back, and then what, some stars here, or the exterior, TARDIS exterior, both at the back and on the front, or the interior of the TARDIS. We've got so many different variants for the inside and the outside of these sets, even though these sets were like made to be matching, right? These are like definitive collection sets, but they can't freaking make up their mind, and in Australia it's just all over the place. And I've got some of the DVDs here as well, to prove my point further. They've always had this problem where they change the layout or whatever template they use for these DVDs. Look at this. These two. They what happened here? Like it's like they slightly lowered it down here. Slightly lower. And then we've got this McCoy episode here, where the logo, what happened there? The logo's, and so did the face as well. And that's not just, you know, like these inserts, you know, where they're in the plastic. They're in the same place. They're aligned here, and they've also changed the logo, you know, friggin'. I mean, look at this. Like, none of these match up. Like, even these two, even seasons 5 and 6, it's so close. It's so close, and they messed it up. Here, this is Gotham. Each season released on Blu-ray, like, you know, 1 year after the other. So someone just made a template, you know, put the logo here and then whatever. They just set all this out, and then every time there's a new season, they just change the artwork and change the, you know, season number. Why can't they just do that with Doctor Who? Do they? What this is there someone like making a new layout every single time? I struggle to understand the logic of this placement. Like, look at this. We've got the complete 9th series in this tiny ass font, vertically, my ad. Everything else here, oh, actually no, just these ones. Yeah, season 7, 10, 11, and 12, they're all horizontal. You know, they're in line with the logo. And here they've decided to flip it the other way around. Both here, these two as well. They're flipped over. You can't friggin' you see the logo, and then you have to turn your head to read this, which is, this doesn't make sense. It's the smallest font ever. Okay, so here's what I imagine is going on over at BBC Worldwide Studios. Hi boss, just finished work on the Arc Infinity DVD cover. Oh, that looks great. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. So next we're doing the 5 Doctors. Can you handle that? You can do the artwork for that? Yeah. So I should just use the same template then. Yeah. Because I mean the logo's there and the episode title. It's all like set out and everything. We just change the name and put a different picture of the episode there. All right. Cool. Well, just before you do that, can you actually change the layout? Wait, what? Like, of the art? Like, can you move the logo? Change it down a little bit, and then also like change it. Everything else, just move that down a little bit. Wow. It's just for, like, you know, diversity. You know, we don't want everything to look the same. I mean, that'd be boring. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, so we'll just move the logo down, like a little bit. What? Why would we? A little bit, and maybe even like, why would we do? Maybe make it smaller, like just a bit smaller. What? Why? Like, what's the point? Oh, and these are for the same box set, by the way. Yeah. We don't want them to match up. I mean that just sounds really annoying. Well, I'm your boss, like for anyone that buys this. And if you don't do this, if you don't do what I say, could we just end you're fine if we kept them the same, use the same template layout for each episode. On the episode that we put out. Yeah, just move that up actually, because it would be less work if we didn't change it. Right, you know, you're right. That was a stupid idea. Sorry, I'll go do that now. Okay, bye. Oh yeah, just before you do that, yeah, I should tell you. Next week we're changing the logo. It's ridiculous. Like, you see the UK sets, the UK DVD releases, they all match up, and even to this day they're still, like, when they animate new episodes, they give you a reversible slide, reversible cover, to keep it in line with your other stuff. Australia just does not care about that at all, Because on the inside, we don't get any, matching reversible art. We've just got this contents, these chapters, which I don't know who uses for, like, who puts chapters points in individual episodes. I've never gone to a chapter. I've never used this chapter feature. I mean, who does that? Who who takes out their DVD and thinks, I want to go to chapter 7 of episode 2 of The Time Monster. As much as I hate how inconsistent these Australian sets are, I really feel for those in America, US, Canada, whatever, the Region A releases. These pictures, courtesy of my friend Simon, the Tweet Lord, #1 Shutter fan, really something. I mean, like, I think every fault I could find with the Australian sets, the US, the Region A has it worse. They lose out on, like, all of the art, really, except for the cover art. And there's no way to tell what special features are on each disc, except for just, like, putting them into your player. I wonder why they choose just one disc art, why they chose to just put the cover art on all the discs. Did they have to pay for each artwork to put on the sets? Which, I mean, I feel like they could have done that, right? Like they do that for Australia. It's weird, because in Australia, they just use the UK disc art most of the time. It is so rough being a Doctor Who fan not in the UK, because these UK sets are amazing, but to get that in Australia you have to import, and then last time I imported, so the only reason I got this season 22 set is because someone sold it, like, really cheap on eBay, but all the other stuff is, like, crazy expensive to import. It's like $80, $90 for a single set, which is yikes. In my journey to buying, even filling out the sets that I missed out on, because I only started collecting these I think May last year, I missed out on, like, almost, like, all of the sets, really. So I've, like, I bought them, the missing ones, via eBay. But then some seasons, like, yeah, these seasons here, I bought the standard versions because I couldn't obtain the big ones for cheap, like, reasonable prices. So I opted for the UK standard versions, which are still good, but they don't fit in with the others, like on a shelf in a collection. And man, trying to get these in like good condition from the UK was so rough, because I ordered from Amazon. I bought season 19, I think like 3 different times, and every time it had like damage on the case, on the box, in the case. So I had to like keep like buying it, like ordering it, and then sending it back for a replacement and all that. And yeah, I did that with both season 12 and season 19, and it was annoying, because it took weeks to get here, and then turn up, with marks on the case and all that shit. So I had to send it back and all that stuff. And I don't have a printer. You need a printer to send it back, and I don't have a printer, so I had to use my friend's printer, just to print the return label. But yeah, they don't make it easy. In the US, my friend Simon again. Oh wow, how they turn up, how it gets shipped in, is so rough. Like when I ordered season 22, it had like creases and dents and everything. Yeah, these collection sets are so nice, but I just wish some more care would be put into, making them as nice as they are in the UK, for outside the UK as well. I mean, the US sets freaking suck, and Australia, they decide to change the layout, every time they release a new season. It's not a big deal, right? Because I mean, the discs are the main important stuff, but I just wish they could be a bit more consistent. I don't think they're going to be re-releasing them in Australia anytime soon, and they're not releasing the standard versions at a consistent pace, I guess. So you don't at the moment you don't really have a choice in which one you want to get, because if you want to get these big old limited edition versions, you can't really, unless you want to spend heaps of money, or you're insanely lucky as I am. But then even then, they mix and match, like between the Australian version and UK versions, which also don't match up. Like, I wanted to get these big ones so they would match up, but then even still, they don't match up because I got them from different places. I don't know why they didn't just release the same, like the UK versions in Australia, and also, they did that at first, but then why did they stop? Was it just too expensive? It's how much more expensive? I mean, were the first 2 ones just not profitable enough? They sold out, and then they didn't make any new ones. They didn't reprint them. So anyway, that was a comparison between the UK and the Australian versions. Once again, a redux, but this time directly, season 26 versus season 26. I don't know why I just said that. You just watch the video. Yeah, and then also a little rant on how annoying it is to be a Doc 2 fan that doesn't live in the UK. Yeah, okay. Well, thanks for watching this video.